There are Hollywood stories that feel bigger than movies. Stories of rise, collapse, and resurgence that echo the drama we see on screen. Robert Downey Jr. has lived one of the most extraordinary arcs: a lovable enfant terrible, a troubled soul, a heroic comeback, and finally, a cultural icon. This is the story of a man who went from addiction and headlines to becoming one of the highest paid, most beloved actors in history, and beyond the industry, someone who changed how we watch movies. He was born April 4, 1965, into a creative but complicated life. His father, Robert Downey Sr., was a filmmaker known for counterculture comedies like Pound. He cast young Robert in his first film at just 5 years old. It was unconventional. It was messy. But it was part of the story. He grew up on sets, around actors, around cameras, but also around chaos. His father once admitted giving him cannabis at age 6. That early exposure, creative and destructive, shaped both his brilliance and his demons. The Times. As he became a teen, he stepped into the world of 1980s Hollywood. Weird Science, Less Than Zero, rubbing shoulders with the youth movements and parties of the era. He was talented, fearless, magnetic, but also spiraling. Substance abuse followed him. There were arrests. He became uninsurable. Studios turned him down. Headlines turned harsh. Friends turned away. Agencies counted him out. Even by his own admission, at one point he said, "It's like I have a shotgun in my mouth and I like the taste of gunmetal." The Times. But behind the chain of bad decisions, there was still talent. In 1992, Richard Attenborough cast him as Charlie Chaplin. He had to mimic a global legend, take on silent-era mannerisms, recreate physical comedy, then infuse it with pain. He delivered. The performance earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor and won a BAFTA. No one expected it, but he proved he wasn't just a party kid, he was a serious actor. The Times. Still, the troubles returned. Arrests in 1996 and 1999, rehab stints, jail time. He spent nearly a year behind bars. Insurers refused to back him. Yet then someone believed again. In 2003 Mel Gibson vouched for him on The Singing Detective. It was a break. He followed with roles in Gothica, Zodiac, Good Night, and Good Luck, The Soloist, Quiet, small roles that proved he could carry dramatic weight. Reddit. +2. The Times. +2. Forbes. +2. And then came the turning point that changed everything. In 2008, Iron Man hit theaters. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, a genius, billionaire playboy philanthropist. It was perfect casting. He brought swagger and vulnerability. Stark wasn't flawless, nor was RDJ. But the synergy felt real. The film grossed over $585 million globally. It started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He became the face of a revolution in cinema. The New York Banner. That movie was more than a hit, it was a cultural reset. Suddenly Downey J wasn't toxic, he was essential. Marvel bet its future on him. Audiences bet their emotions. And it paid off. He reprised Stark in Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, The Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Captain America, Civil War, 10 films total. Each one became a blockbuster. Collectively, the MCU has grossed over $30 billion, and Downey Jr.'s own films have grossed over $14 billion worldwide, making him one of the highest-grossing actors ever. India Today. He even became the highest-grossing lead actor of all time, until Scarlett Johansson narrowly surpassed him in mid-2025. Still, RDJ remains one of the top 3 globally. Showbiz Cheat Sheet. +9. India Today. +9. TriviaMastermind.com. +9. Beyond the box office, his mind and craftsmanship kept evolving. He starred in Tropic Thunder, a dark comedy where he played an actor inside a fictional film, portraying a black soldier. That earned him his first Academy Award nomination after Marvel. He showed range. He then played Sherlock Holmes in Guy Ritchie's reboot. 2 films, Sherlock Holmes 2009 and Game of Shadows 2011, earning over $1 billion combined. He balanced comedic timing with dramatic stakes, showcasing charm beyond super suits. Work and money. In 2023, Christopher Nolan cast him as Louis Strauss in Oppenheimer. It was a dark, complex supporting role, far from blockbuster showmanship. He embraced it. His emotional restraint, quiet menace, and regret earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, the acknowledgement from his peers of a lifetime reaching another level. Later in 2024, at the Oscars again, he spoke movingly of Jeremy Strong, a younger actor who once camped outside the building where RDJ had attended the Oscars years ago. He praised Strong's persistence, drawing connection to memory and legacy. It was a reflective moment, RDJ honoring the next generation. EU.com. Outside the screen, Robert Downey Jr.'s life reflects the arcs he plays: fall, redemption, hard-won wisdom. He's been clean since 2003, lives in Malibu with his wife Susan and their 3 children. Photos surfaced of him turning 60 in 2025, playing father-dad, shaving his head for a role with his daughter, riding horses with his youngest, moments far from tabloids. They showed quiet love. Turn Zero News 16. He's become a father, a farm owner, an advocate for sobriety and creativity. Looking ahead, he's set to return to the MCU, but not as Iron Man. Instead, he'll play Doctor Doom in Avengers: Doomsday, scheduled for December 2026, and is rumored for a cameo in upcoming Fantastic Four: First Steps, July 2025. This marks a full-circle twist, villainous, complex, the next phase of cinematic myth-making. He even publicly praised Pedro Pascal, the rumored romantic lead as Reed Richards, calling him essential to MCU's future, proof RDJ sees beyond himself, investing in successors and the health of the industry. People.com. +1. The Times. +1. Diario As. +1. Games Radar Plus. +1. This story, from inventive child actor, to dark public crisis, to Marvel poster child, to Oscar winner, is pure mythic arc. But it's also profoundly human. He's been vulnerable on screen. He spoke publicly about addiction. He's reshaped his public image with honesty, declaring a decade ago that he was going to pay his debt to the world by cleaning up. And decades later, here he stands, healthy, cinematic legend, still working and still evolving. Why does this resonate? Because viewers don't just want glitz, they want truth. They want a journey that mirrors their own hopes and scares. They want to see someone wallow and rise again. They want to hear someone say, "I almost died, but here's what I built instead." Robert Downey Jr.'s story does that. He's no saint, but he's proven himself. He's no lifelong star, but he became one anyway.